Okay, there we go. Greetings, people of YouTube and the internet, and specifically RWBY fans. This is for you today. Who am I? I'm the Layman. I say I make videos here, but really it is the most infrequent thing in the world. And I got a package today that I believe you people may find interesting. It's a thing that I've been wanting for quite a while, which thankfully Rooster Teeth, the company that produces makes and produces RWBY, has finally written up and published. Yes, I am of course referring to The World of RWBY, the official RWBY companion. You all really don't know how long I have waited for a book like this to come around. Oh, the cover is even embossed? Does that even pick up? Yeah, like the words are all embossed on the front. Or embossed, whichever the term means for pushing in. But now this is a slick cover. Of course, Volume 1 art, because that's what most people are gonna recognize offhand. Oh, look at this. They even have I was like, they even have like even more official artwork of the characters on the inside covers. This is looking cool so far. So yeah, thank you to Daniel Wallace. Ignore that. Thank you to Daniel Wallace for writing this up, and for Viz Media for actually publishing it. Yeah, and of course, naturally, thank you to Monty Oum for just being an unstoppable creative and for giving us something that has brought so much joy to people. I really just I respect the man for what he's done way too much for words. So for the sake of actually talking about this book, I'm going to move on and save my gushing for a different video, shall we say. So as we can see there are 5 chapters of information: the origins of Remnant, the characters themselves, the creatures of Grimm, something that says ready for battle and expanding horizons. I'm not sure about those last 2. The first 3, however, are fairly self-explanatory. Oh my goodness. I could just show this artwork off all day. Because the artwork is really good. and the foreword is written by Matt Hullum, aka the CEO and one of the co-founders of Rooster Teeth Productions. I'm basically just going through this book and just basically natural reaction as origin. You know what? I was expecting just origins of the world. This is of the show itself. With pictures of Monty there as well, which rest in peace. I'm not gonna get into all of the details because I think y'all people should go pick this up yourself. But I was not quite expecting like exactly this. Okay, so there's a couple pages talking about the pre-production and the initial conception of the series. Goes into the trailers. That talks about more of the show a little bit. It understandably makes mention of Monty's unfortunate passing after Volume 2, which still kind of gets me. But again, I'll save talking about that in depth for a different video. Okay, and after that, which fair enough, there's things you need to address beforehand. That's when it starts getting into the actual setting of the thing. Okay, yeah. First thing they obviously talk about, aside from just Remnant as a whole, is each of the 4 different kingdoms. Okay, there's a page about the Grimm, about the Vital Festival and all that backstory. And this is basically becoming a primer for the general setting and terminology. And also, like, this particular page is very important to me. I will, again, that'll probably be another video further down the line, but let's just say it's related to a personal project I'm working on. Okay, Aura, Semblance, Huntsman Academies, just speaking in general. Okay, there's a little bit about the Faunus and Menagerie. I apologize for the awkward way I'm holding this up because you can see my microphone sort of right in the corner there, so I'm actually going to move that over slightly. I hope that doesn't mess up the audio. I'll fix it in post. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, Faunus. Okay, and of course the incredibly important the role of color in the show, which if anyone who's watched RWBY knows is basically one of the most important themes in the show. And also in like many different aspects. Specifically for character names. So, and Monty's color naming rule can be found easily online. But I guess put something up here. So that just went up there. Volume 2. I like how the book is also divided into different volumes for the different sections of what they're talking about. It's not necessarily going through everything in chronological order, but it's a nice touch. Nice touch. Yeah, the soundtrack has been mentioned a few times, obviously. Another very big important aspect of the show, which all my love for Jeff Williams and his daughter Casey, they are phenomenal, and honestly RWBY would not be the same if somebody else was doing all the instrumentation and the singing. Alright, chapter 2, well, okay, I misspoke. I guess it was just another, showing more artwork. The actual part 2 is here, so now we get to actually go into the characters. Obviously, Ruby's the first one, so that's who we see first. It's 2, 3, 4. Okay, there's a few pages for each of the characters, plus we also get mention of the best dog ever. And he needs to be in more of the show. Miles, Carrie, Bernie, I don't know who's in charge of writing this, but just... Okay, I know which of you guys are in charge of writing this. But Zwei needs to be in more of the actual show. Please bring him back. I honestly don't really care how you do it. He just needs to participate more. But after that, there's a section on Weiss. So 4 pages seems to be the typical write-up for each of the main characters. Blake comes after that. 1, 2, 3, 4, naturally. Yeah, followed by, of course, my personal favorite of the characters, Yang Xiaolong. Like, you all people don't even know how much I'm obsessed with her. Or maybe you do, if you've interacted with me in any kind of fashion. Oh! There's even a little blurb about her motorcycle. That's neato. Yeah, afterwards, it gets into Team Juniper, starting with Sean, obviously Nora, Pyrrha, Ren. Oh, that's interesting. It even makes mention of the pseudo team that was formed in RWBY Volume 4 and onwards. RWBY Volume 4 through Volume 5, specifically. I won't spoil why that is if you haven't seen the show, but just know there's a thing that happens. Okay, now there's a bit of a write-up for a fan favorite Team Sun, starting with Mr. Wukong. And wait a minute. Oh, that's the name of his semblance. Via Sun. That's like the only detail, potentially the only detail I'm gonna really focus on, because I didn't know that up until now. So that is really neat. That was super awesome. Yeah, then we've got the rest of the team: Scarlet, David, Sage Ayana, Neptune, Vasilius, of course. Oh, all right, there's Team Cardinal, who basically only played a significant part in Volume 1 and then never again. Also fan favorite Team Coffee, who are also the stars of the standalone RWBY novel After the Fall, which you should also read, because it also has a lot of interesting and new information that isn't necessarily, or that's basically exclusive to that book so far. That's an official piece of canon literature, so what's in that book is technically in the whole of RWBY going forward. I should have talked about that book when I originally got it, but for some reason I didn't. So consider this my recommendation. Go buy After the Fall. It's worth the money. Oh, then there's even a little blurb about Team Stark. Naturally, and it does. These characters aren't actually in Team Stark, but Maria Calavera and Vernal, who the latter of which shows up in volumes 4 and 5, and the former shows up in volume 6. So that's kind of interesting. All right, then there's another look at the Vital Festival contestants, which that's an event that happens during volume 3. There's basically a bunch of teams from all over the rest of this world come and basically compete in a tournament style contest. Naturally, there's half of Team Funky, which I don't know if we'll ever learn the other members of that team. There's Penny and her teammate CL. There's Team Auburn, which I'm kind of disappointed that, and Team Bronze, you saw on the other page. I'm kind of disappointed that Team Auburn didn't get more focus, because they have some really cool character designs on that team. So really disappointed that they didn't get to shine. Team Indigo, which interestingly enough was actually a fan-submitted team, which managed to make its way into the show. So kudos to whoever actually designed them. They were really cool for the brief time they were on screen. Then there's Ozpin, of course. There's Glinda. There's Port and Oobleck. So far, if there's a named character and even some side characters, major supporting players, I should say, or even minor supporting players. The point is, they actually get blurbs in this, so this is at least covering stuff from at least volumes 1 through 5, and touching on volume 6, because, like I said before, the character of Maria is in volume 6, but so far there hasn't really been much else touched upon, at least in regards to that part of the show. Next is the villain section. So there's the ultimate big bad, Salem, and her at one point #1 henchwoman, Cinderfall. Okay, there's Hazel is another player. There's these guys, which no, not him. This guy. He is basically just the Joker character of the show. Like, let's be honest, people. Also fan favorite and returning in the RWBY Chibi spin-off series is Roman Torchwick. Because his character was so good that they just couldn't throw him away. Speaking of the best characters on the face of the planet, and I'm totally not being biased when I say that, even though I am, is this little small right here. So that's it. That's a thing. Basically my favorite character, like, on the face of the planet. Let's see. There's Emerald Sistri and Mercury Black. These guys are supporting villains, but they have interesting backstories to them. Pardon. Then of course there's the White Fang, the All Faunus, which, for those of you unfamiliar, that's people that have animal traits. They're sort of a, I guess you could say they're kind of like the Black Panther organization from American history, back when that was a thing. Good. And there's basically all those. I really should just skip ahead a lot because there's a ton here. So, and again, I want you people to actually go out and buy this book, so I don't want to give away everything. Yeah. Then there's the creatures of Grimm, which are basically the mindless monsters that roam this world. So yeah, this is in general what they look like. They're somewhat mammalian, or usually mammalian, though also insectoid, reptilian, aquatic. Basically, they look like animals, but they're all black with bony plates, specifically on their skulls, often elsewhere on their bodies, and glowing red eyes. There are quite a few now that have either been shown in the show or in After the Fall, which I alluded to earlier. And okay, there are actually Grimm that showed up in Volume 6 of the show, so that's neat. I'm not going to show you because again, see, every other time I've said go buy this book. All right, and there's also some robots that appear in the show as well, though they aren't nearly as prominent after the first 3 volumes of the show. And more technology, which I don't know why they would be listed with the Grimm. That should be in one of the other sections, in my personal opinion. Okay, ready for battle. That's one of the things. Oh! Okay, so this looks like it is basically detailing some of the major set piece battles and fights that have been shown in the series. One of which is a major spoiler if you haven't seen the show, so I will refrain from detailing it. I just love the fact that they're just using like little sketch art for the example of that. Like, that doesn't actually detail what happens in the battle much, but that was just a nice touch. And now we get to the final chapter, Expanding Horizons. What is this about? Okay, so the first page looks like... Okay, I just gotta show this one picture. That never actually happens in the show. That was, I believe, entirely just Monty messing around with the character models, but that just makes me chuckle all the time. Okay, so it looks like this bit is touching on the fandom that surrounds RWBY, and specifically detailing a lot of amazing cosplayers that that have donned the likeness of the characters. Speaking of RWBY Chibi, there's a section in this for that as well. And basically, this is sort of the... Yeah, it looks like it's a bibliography to speak of the different other RWBY-related products, which After the Fall was on there. I also highly recommend the RWBY trading card game. Well, no, not the... Well, there is a trading card game app, but that's different. Specifically the RWBY Combat Ready board game. That it's well designed and really fun to play. And after that, there's basically that. Yeah, that's basically it. This is these are the last pages of the book, basically, with anything on them. It's basically saying thank you for supporting us and stay tuned. And also the at the time of this video, this is before RWBY Volume 7 happens, so those were the outfits that the main characters wear during that. And that is what is in the official RWBY companion. It is super slick. This is like, if you don't want to read the Wikipedia, or like the official Wikipedia page, the fan-made Wikipedia page, or you don't have the time to dedicate to just binging all the series, though you should, I would highly recommend picking this up, because this is a really good way to figure out, okay, let me see what this thing is about. Like, what is everything? No. Okay, this is about what I'm dealing with. Okay, I like / maybe want to pass on it, depending on the person. Anyway, this has been one of these videos. I don't know when I'll do my next one, but I hope you'll stick around for it, so I'll see you later.